Alright, so this is just, it has all the answers on it as far as the skeleton is concerned. Your packet, yes, keep, because eventually we are going to go real deep into the whole body as a whole. But if you want to take a look at that, with this being a lab, I would encourage you to come up, take a look at this, and look at the skeleton. Definitely for sure, because bones, now for kinesiology, bones will definitely be on this test for sure, okay? So if you want to take some time to look at the bones now, that's fine. For people who are looking at this video, schedule an appointment with me to look at the skeleton. You are welcome to do that now. But what I will do is that I'll put up on the PowerPoint the shoulder girdle, because I'll put, I think I put a little bit of information on the test about the shoulder girdle, but by all means, I would definitely take a look. Just know that you do need to get for people who are in here for kinesiology, for the people that were in here before, you guys already know this, but for everybody else who is new to this, definitely take a look at the planes of motion, the transverse, frontal, and sagittal, okay? As well as the directional terms. Now, when we meet again next Tuesday, I will talk about, I will move forward into chapter 5, go over chapter 4, which I think chapter 5 is, I think it is more in depth into the shoulder, but that's where you got the rotator cuff, stuff like that. All right, y'all got any questions, comments, concerns? Now, what you can do, this is for everybody, because the sports injury people didn't look at the shoulder girdle, okay? So I want you to take some time out also and review all of the parts of the shoulder girdle. So if you need to turn buddy cousin around, turn buddy cousin around. You know, the shoulder girdle will involve the clavicle, the scapula, the mandible, sternum, okay? And just know that, just know that, know the articulation points, okay? It's very important that you know the articulation point. It is up here as well, okay? Questions, comments, concerns? I would definitely use this time to look at the skeleton right now.
Torso.
But there is your sheet. Oh, you just walked in. Okay. So yes, keep the packet. But this is a blank sheet of all of the skeleton that I need for you guys to know for sure on your next test, which is opening up today.
Is it on Blackboard?
It'll be on Blackboard.
Okay, so
Now, but the blank sheet is not. I will
that
get,
was not.
Yeah, I will get y'all a blank sheet just
Okay.
to review.
This is the
But make sure. Oh, he's teaching my bad.
the owner's the
The owner is the inside one.
right, and then the radius,
I
and
really
then the
forgot what you said in class started.
humerus. Yeah, so scapula. Ish.
Is she
This is ish. This is the elite.
Iliac crest, right?
Well,
That's it.
you might want to look at this sheet.
I'm gonna take a picture.
Look at the sheet.
Y'all better get right.
Now, you guys take a look and get to know.
I was wrong.
But still, even then, you want to also take the time to like pull the skeleton. I have a small skeleton in my office. Actually, let me bring them. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab my keys.
All this stuff on the board new?
Huh?
Is that the same stuff?
Now this is sports injury, but this is content that we've gone over in the previous learning module where we talked about the plan. Yep, you need to get to know it. But I don't want you to get to know it and just memorize. I want you to orient yourself. Like if you say to yourself, okay, well the skull is superior to the mandible. Okay, that's how you're going to be able. I want you to orient yourself in that nature. So use this time to practice those terms, okay? Especially the inferiors all the way down to supination, and then get to know the planes, as well as talk through the different actions and the activities that are involved in the plane. I'll be right back when we grab the other skeleton.
I went really good.
Of course you will. This is the first time I've seen you in this class.
We don't hit it.
Twice.
And
You tell me what color it
I
does?
still know more.
You said what?
I still know more.
Shit.
You gotta turn these in though. Leave this nose.
Yeah. He's on the wrong side. No, just what is that right there? The whole thing.
So is this a live story?
This one.
Like what she doing right now is good. I think she was, it's a lab, but she treating it as a class or something. Okay. Let me go back to the email.
So y'all ain't roll on this at all?
I ain't even got that to be honest.
Yeah, outside her door. If she is.
Alright. So it's a other skeleton. Like I said, take some time to memorize it. As I'm doing this video, you guys, there's the other skeleton in my office. You definitely want to take time. It's not the best skeleton, but it does the job. Anybody need it? Want it?
Take it home.
Oh, can't take it home. There you go. Now, also, the other thing that is important for you guys, I don't know if you guys got one. Now, we talked about the shoulder girdle, right, and the muscles, right? How many muscles are in the shoulder girdle? 5, okay? So all 5 are in this packet, okay? So this packet is by my door, by my office, so if you guys come by my door shut, you can pick up the packet, or it's the packet, guys. Yeah. You've been in here long enough, you can do it. So it does have all of those muscles to highlight. All right, so as we move forward, all right, like I said, your tests are gonna get a little harder and a little bit more in depth. So make sure you get to know, I will give you, trying to figure out how hard do I want to torture you guys? Do I want you to know the action, the origin, insertion, and the innovation? I do. I do. Because you need it. Okay?
See that page?
Oh no, this is new. This is a new packet. So like I said, if you guys want to run and take a trip to get the packet, you can. There you go. Oh yeah, you did. Go ahead and get one. You guys, this is by my door. If we run out, then it is online. Okay? Yeah, you can set them on the table. Do we have any questions about the bones in the shoulder girdle? You guys good? Think you good? Maybe? Questions, comments, concerns? No? You good? Alright, here's the boning landmarks of it. Again, we talked about the boning landmarks. I will provide enough terminology for you to orient yourself on the test, so this won't be completely a miss, okay? So, but I will include some details to it once we get into the muscles. All right, the joints we'll talk about on Tuesday, but like I said, we'll also talk about chapter 5 too. All right, so this is the part that I really want you guys to get down pat as far as the shoulder girdle is concerned. Okay, you do need to know that it is responsible for abduction and protraction, adduction or retraction. Primarily, protraction, retraction. Okay, I don't want to know anything else because adduction could essentially confuse people, but I want everybody try to definitely orient themselves with protraction, retraction. Downward and upward rotation, all right?
Go back, please.
Sure can. I sure can. So, while we're here looking at this, can anybody think of a movement that will cause the shoulder blade or the scapula and or the shoulder girdle, let me say that, the shoulder girdle to move in protraction?
Jump shot.
Show me. What, protraction of the, so think about it, what protraction is, okay? Protraction, retraction. I didn't forget about you. I got your email, I didn't forget about you. So when I think of jump shot, it's possible, but I want something a little bit more specific to that area as far as protraction and retraction of your shoulder girdle.
Bench press.
Bench press, that's a good one. Anything else? Y'all can guess, we can talk through it. Like if you guys guess something you think it might be wrong, I don't want to make people feel like it's wrong. I want us to talk through it. Push-ups, yeah. Because of the pectoralis minor, that's the name.
Bench.
I'm not, what do you think? I'm not a pitcher.
I would say so.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not, and the reason why I asked because I'm not a pitcher, so I don't. In my head, I can imagine that, but I can say though. I agree. What about retraction?
Bowling.
How?
On the back.
Okay. I can see that.
Could you say like gymnastics? Like
What move?
a back handspring or something?
I would think that would be a little bit more upward, downward rotation, elevation.
I was just wondering because I was looking at the
Yeah, because of the move.
then I was trying to like picture myself doing it. And
Yeah, yes and no.
it's like a
I would say that would be kind of like a secondary movement.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a primary.
Would it be in archery?
Yeah. And we talked about rows.
I would say when he said pitch, I think it's both. Because
Yeah.
when you're pitching, when you come back, you retract it, but then when you throw the ball, you
Yeah, it's
doesn't
perfect.
retract. And same thing with bowling. Because when you come back, you retract it, but when you
You throw that. Yeah, that's true. Very true. Any others? That's the same with the jump shot, because you mentioned that too. That's essentially the same thing. Any others? Like you can think about it that way, but also think about in terms of, like maybe just think about just the daily activity, because we do have people that want to go into occupational therapy or physical therapy. Think about an activity that you do daily that involves protraction and retraction.
Walking. Walking.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is swing your arm, that's a normal gait cycle. Any others? And you putting on pants? So yeah, you gotta, I mean, we've been in sweatpants for about 18 months, but still even then, it does require a little one foot through the other, through the pants leg. Any others? Showering, yeah, let's hope you wash the whole body, not just your stomach and chest.
Could you say like fixing your hair?
Yes. Yes, definitely. You putting in every movement in that shoulder at that point. I know, because I've been natural for over 10 years, so yeah, I know. All right, so then going, you talk about fixing your hair with that downward and upward rotation, that's the same thing. Lord knows. All right. Depression and elevation, where we naturally say we don't know something, that's automatically depression and elevation. But think of a particular exercise that will require elevation, where elevation is just upward superior movement of the scapula, shouldering your shoulders. But think about like a particular like fitness or training conditioning activity, like anything type of sport activity? Don't, now, like I said, there's no wrong answer, we can just talk through it. Yeah? Any others? That's a good one. Or just depression? Just think of both, either one. Any takers? Any takers? Yeah. Pull up. Any takers? Guesses? Takers? Now the next one, where it talks about the purpose of the muscles, purpose is to stabilize the scapula so the shoulder joint muscles will have a stable base. So, and again, we'll talk about, I believe that's the next chapter, I have to check, but where it talks about the sits muscles, the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, res minor, subscapularis. We'll talk about that too. Those are just, if you don't remember any network of muscles, I promise you remember the sits muscles. I promise you, you get. Once you know the sit muscles, it's like all the other muscles just flow right into place. You guys looking at me like, no, it ain't, but I promise. It will flow into place. All right. So the other part to this particular shoulder that I want you guys to remember, you can screenshot it where it talks about what it does. It elevates, it depresses, it is involved in adduction, adduction and abduction, and protraction and retraction. Okay? Downward rotation and upward rotation. Okay, like I said, if you don't remember any movement of the shoulder girdle, definitely remember these 6. I think my camera is blocking it. Because I forgot I recorded. Alright. So, 5 muscles involved in movement of the shoulder girdle. Okay, they all originate on the axial skeleton and insert on scapula and or clavicle. All right. Origination is always the stable portion of the muscle. Insertion is generally the movable portion of the muscle. Those are 2 terms that are definitely needed to be known on the test.
Which ones?
Origin and insertion. Innervation
of the muscles.
All right. Now, bless you.
Bless you.
Now, innervation of the shoulder girdle is innervated by what is the innervation of the shoulder girdle? The muscles for the shoulder girdle. We talked about it. That's an hour ago. Huh?
The nerves, right?
Yeah. What's the name of it? What's the name of the network of nerves?
It's not the one that's talking to B. It's not the one.
Y'all just got huh?
It's not the
It's a big word, but it's 2 words.
I don't.
The brachial plexus.
Yeah.
Brachial plexus. Brachial/cervical plexus. Okay? Just remember, innervation is the nerve responsible for creating a response to stimulus in the muscle. Don't forget what innervation is. If you don't, origin and insertion, we can get that interchangeably. I mean, I'll make that easy because sometimes it's easy to forget. But just remember, origin is the fixed point. Insertion is the movable point.
You said insertion was the moving point?
The movable point, yes. All right, so that's when, there we
What's the
go.
second word after, what's the word after origin?
Insertion, I know, I butchered that, let me,
What, notes are these?
it's chapter 4. Chapter 4, but it is chapters 1 and 3 as far as your first test is concerned, but it will have a little bit of 4, a little bit of 4.
And this is the test with the 30 questions and.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, gotcha.
So what chapter is this on here? 4?
This is 4, yes. And so in your packet, okay, it's definitely important for you to use this packet as a tool to help you understand movement, okay? make sure that like it really serves as a guide for you to understand like when we're talking about inferior, superior, especially when we're addressing the parts of the clavicle and parts of the scapula. Okay? Because there's going to be parts of the scapula where, I mean, if we're looking at the pectoralis minor, the deep portion of it, we need to know that these muscles have different parts to it, multiple heads on it. Pectoralis minor has 3 portions to it. And being able to know and identify the part of the scapula it is connected to, or being able to know the part the pectoralis minor is attached to the, as I'm looking at right in front of me, the scapula. All right? Questions, comments, concerns so far? We're good? Did you get one of these?
No, I didn't. Sorry, were we not starting at 11:30? I thought.
It's 11. So I think, so what happened is that it's a typo, because I thought it was 11:32. That's a typo. So it is supposed to start at 11, but the reason why, I don't know why it's a typo, but the reason why we say 11 because we don't want people to lose credits because it's a 4-hour class.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
But today is like a lab day.
Okay.
I'm not giving like a genuine full big lecture. I'm just reviewing everything for the test.
So it'll be from 11. It'll start.
Yeah, Tuesday when we meet is 11.
It's 11.
Yeah, it's 11 for sure. Unless, like I said, if you're running late, just shoot me a
Cause I
message.
got a class that ends at
Yeah, just shoot me a message.
Okay.
And we'll just go.
but it's online, so.
Yeah.
Did you have any more of those?
Check they're by my door, check like the little folder thing, and if there's any left, take the whole thing so I can give it to you guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, do we got any questions, comments, concerns about what we're looking at right now? We're good? We think we're good? Okay. I feel like there's one other, so the study notes. Let me do this. How many of us have went through the study notes already? Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this off. And I'm gonna go over learning module 1 study notes. What I did do is that they are updated in attempts. If I were you guys, if there is an attempt that you're not satisfied with, I would go ahead and look at it and see if you want to take advantage of the attempt to get a better grade. And if you have not done those study notes, here's a big hint, do the study notes. It is to
Can we
your
retake it?
benefit. Alright?
Take them.
Yeah, I think I upped it, like, I think before it was 2, I upped it to 4.
Really?
Yeah.
So this, I didn't even know this whole time it was 2.
Yes, it's two attempts. Now it's 4. Take advantage of all and every attempt. Please, hint.
Okay. Now it's saying I got, yeah. It's saying I got.
Oh, wait a
some
minute,
attempts
yeah,
left.
no, yeah, go ahead and, hold on, I'll fix that right now for you.
On the study, on the first one, yeah, it's popping up on mine that I have 3 attempts left
Okay.
on both of mine.
Hold on.
That's the one that was on the 13th?
Yeah,
You pushed it back to the 30.
yeah, it's to the 30.
Got it.
So-
Any other tests due before then?
I mean, I would take it before the test. I would just plan ahead. I wouldn't wait on that. Like seriously, like if y'all need to do the study notes, I would. Trust me, when you keep hearing me repeat it to do the study notes before the test, I would do the study notes before the test. I'm trying to tell y'all.
So is the test due on the 30th too?
Yes, test 2 on the 30th too.
So if you already did the chapter.
The study notes, the learning module study notes.
Would you want
You can move on to the test if you want to, if you're ready.
Okay.
Why is in some of the PowerPoint, it's like the number is crossed out?
I don't know why that thing did that to me. That I don't know.
Can we go over the one that just says learning module 1 study notes?
We sure can.
Because that's the one I did.
All right, so we know, and like I said, this is a good opportunity for you. Let me see, because I'm still recording. Ooh, got 24 minutes. I'm about to shut this thing down. All right, so when we're on learning module or study notes 1, or part 1. All right, so as I answer these questions or ask these questions, we're all going to talk through it. And after we talk through it, if you guys have any questions after that, you guys are essentially, well, I'll be here for a little while if you want to look at the skeleton. But all right, without further ado, one of the questions on the study notes is, the most common lever is third class lever. Any questions, comments, concerns about that? We know that the most common lever in the body, or lever, is third class. What is the most common third class lever in the body as far as action is concerned?
Isn't it the or the shoulder?
Bicep curl. That's the most common one. All right. Let's see. Let me scroll on down here.
Bicep curl most common in the body?
Most common third class lever in the body. Because we know that there's 3, and we know that the most common one is a third. All right, hold on. Let me pull up my notes real quick. All right. In the body, machines function in 4 ways, except balance multiple forces, enhance force in an attempt to reduce total force needed to overcome a resistance, alter resulting direction of the applied force, cross the body on one side resulting in an inaction on the opposite side of the body. I will say this, out of those that I just read to you, one of them is a plane and not a machine. What I mean by plane, it's like a directional term that it's in chapter 1 in the book of notes that y'all have. All right, let me see.
Going across the body?
Yeah, hold on, let me find it. I'll tell you exactly what notes it is.
Wait, so are we on part 2 or part 1?
Part 1. Let me find it.
It's the one where the first question was,
Bless you.
where the first question was motion can occur without force, and the answer could be found between slide 49, 51, and chapter 3 note.
We're on part 1?
That's part 2.
No, that's part 2.
That's the one
That's the one you're reading off.
Oh, wait a minute, I thought I was reading on
That's
part
one
2.
you've been reading off.
Oh, my bad. Oh,
'Cause that's
wow.
when I asked
my
you
bad,
to go.
my bad. Let me back up. I'm so sorry. My
So
bad.
go to part 1.
No, we'll go to part 2. That's my fault. That's my fault. Well, we all already there. We'll do that. Most common lever. Okay, hold on. Why is this? Hold on.
Can you open up another example?
She did.
I did.
It's 3 more.
It's up there.
You did
I
already.
need another.
Oh, I got you. Wait a minute. I was reading off. Oh yeah. Okay. Motion can occur. Okay. So this one's a good one that has been commonly missed. I won't do all of them. I'll do some of them. Motion can occur without force. Hint: the answer can be found between slide 49 and 51 of chapter 3 notes. Okay. So how the best way I can explain this?
41 through what?
Slides 49 through 51. All right, the best way to explain this without giving away the answer. All right, so I'm walking, right? Don't answer it, Anika, don't do it. Okay, I'm walking, but there's motion going on, right? So, what is making me move? Okay, be more specific on the legs. What's helping me move? Feet. Okay. So my feet are doing what to cause motion?
There's like hitting the ground.
Okay. Me hitting the ground is called force. You need force to move. Okay. If there's no force, there's no motion. Okay. So that is one thing where it says motion can't occur without force. You have to read the question. That's one of those Bloom's taxonomy questions I threw in there to help y'all really get in there. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns? Anything?
You didn't answer the question?
No, yeah, I ain't doing that. You gotta go back in there
Kinda
and
just did.
yeah, I kinda did, but I ain't gonna answer the question. Not gonna do it. You gotta go back in there, we gotta use the front part. I forgot which section is the one that's memory. I forgot. Anyway, I don't remember. Alright, so another one where it talks about Newton's laws are all except. As I'm going to look at it, for every action there is an opposite and equal reaction. Force that results from the resistance between surfaces of two objects from moving upon one another. Force is required to change inertia. A change in the acceleration of a body occurs in the same direction as the force that caused it, okay? So, one thing to know, where it says, one of the questions is, or one of the responses is, force that results from the resistance between surfaces of two objects from moving upon one another. All right, my hand, this is the surface, right? This center block, this is the surface, right? Just rub. Got to rub my band off. I'm just rubbing. What is happening here as I rub? What am I generating?
Friction.
Friction. That's your answer. That's your answer. That's all I got. Okay? So, as I was explaining to another student earlier, once you get to know the terms such as equilibrium, friction, static, dynamic, you'll know the laws well. Now, Newton has 3 laws where for every opposite action is a reaction. Of course, you know, motion is required, or force is required for motion, and for every, force is required to change inertia. So you need force to change speed. And questions, comments, concerns, praises, testimonies. All right, let me see. Ability to control equilibrium, either static or dynamic, is defined as equilibrium. Hint, it is in between slides 71 and 73. Let's pull up slides 71 and 73.
What question's on there?
I'm on the question where it talks about ability to control equilibrium, either static or dynamic, is defined as equilibrium. Now, I know I pulled this directly off the slide. Yeah, I think so. I think the slides are crossed out for reasons of, I think that's the book. The book kind of did me like that. All right, so as you're looking at the differences between defining balance, equilibrium, and static equilibrium, okay, equilibrium is a state of zero acceleration where there is no change in speed or direction of the body. I consider equilibrium to be similar to the concept of homeostasis, right? We know what that means, all right? Think back in the day when we took biology. What is that? What does homeostasis mean?
It's like an 8 minute.
It's like a what? I didn't hear you.
I ain't know.
Oh, I just didn't hear you. We know what that is? Where basically like the body's baseline. So the body's baseline is basically, so if I were to take your blood pressure right now, like blood pressure everybody should be good and healthy. We should be at 120/80 or lower, right? So your body, well, hopefully, let's hope you ain't stressing that much, okay? Or, you know, if I were to take your body temperature is what? 98.6, okay? 98.6. All right, so your body is always going to present a fight to bring back to its baseline state. So God forbid any of us have a fever, right? So your body is going to send certain antibodies and certain white blood cells to protect the body to bring it back into its balanced state to 98.6.
Like a fart.
If that's what's going to bring your body back to
That's what
balance. if it's going to bring your body back to balance, then, you know, if you're going to feel good after that, then yeah. So, but your body is always going to find that state. So I would consider that similar to equilibrium. There's no movement, there's no action, there's nothing. The body is essentially, bless you, the body is at a restful state, okay? And it's always going to try to find its balance. So that's how you define equilibrium. Now, with balance, right? Ability to control equilibrium, either static or dynamic. So everybody stand up. We're going to wake everybody up. We're going to wake everybody up. Bless you.
Thank you.
We're going to wake everybody up. All right, so as you're standing, y'all ain't going to stand up? Y'all been standing up trying to look at the skeleton. Y'all gonna stand up? Y'all gonna learn it? I promise y'all gonna learn it. All right, so bet. Try to face stand up in fundamental position. Fundamental position. Okay, I see some of y'all got it. What's fundamental position? Fundamental position, what's anatomic position? Fundamental position is just this. Okay, that's all that is. All right, so we're standing in fundamental position. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. All right, elevate your shoulders. All right, depress your shoulders. All right, on a sagittal plane, move. No, I just gave y'all the answer, my bad. That was stupid. Okay, move in do something in a frontal plane. One of the frontal plane actions will be, I'll give you a military press. So go ahead and do a military press with your eyes closed. All right, do something in the sagittal plane, eyes still closed. There we go. I see some bicep curls up in there. There we go. Okay, I saw some presses in there. Okay, oh my God. Okay, I see a lunge. All right, now eyes are still closed as your body is still trying to find balance. Try to lift up one leg, right or left. Oh, you gotta hold it up. You gotta hold it up. Lift it, eyes closed. All right, and lower down. Now do something in the transverse plane, eyes are still closed. There we go, there we go. All right, you guys can open your eyes and have a seat. All right, see, good job. Y'all be thinking y'all ain't got it. Some of y'all about to get A's and B's on this test, okay? That's a good thing. All right, so those are kind of the concepts of balance and equilibrium, right? Like, let's say, for example, as I saw y'all two back there doing, when y'all were pushing each other, okay? By you being able to stand on your feet with your eyes closed, okay, your body is still gonna try to fight for some equilibrium there, okay? It's being forced to move, but your body's gonna try to find that center state so it won't move. Questions, comments, concerns, praises, testimonies. All right, what I'll do, I'll go over, it's telling me to eat. That's how busy you are. When you get busy, you need reminders to eat. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go over part one a little bit, and I'm gonna allow you guys to go look at the skeleton, okay? Especially the clavicle and the scapula. I will give you another attempt on just these two learning modules, okay? All right, true, false. The difference between anatomical position and fundamental position is that the fundamental position, the palms are facing the back of the body. True or false? Back. False. All right. The opposite of cephalic is caudal, ventral, dorsal, proximal. I am on the opposite of cephalic. Caudal. Okay, one addresses going towards the tail, the other one addresses going towards the head. Cephalic and caudal. Proximal. So proximal and distal, I admit, I did not go over how to add that. All right, so proximal and distal, okay? Proximal is the concept of something being close, bless you, to its insertion point, okay? Proximal is distal is exactly that, it's further away, okay? So that's really when we're addressing like joints, primarily in the shoulder, we're going into the knee, we talk about movement in the hip when we're talking about our quadriceps. So we'll need to know I'm just going to use joint because that's kind of the relation how I want you guys to kind of remember it. Somebody's emailing me. All right, let me go over that part one real quick. All right. We talked about it. 3 planes of motion are. Alright. I think we're confident there. The skeletal functions do not include maintain heat. It does not maintain heat. But it does, what does it do?
Protect the body.
Protect the body,
Store mineral.
store minerals, support posture. I'll take any of those 3 variations. There's several others, but those 3 I'll accept. All right, the presence of an epiphyseal plate is to indicate when there's let me just spell it out. I can't even talk today. I've been on the struggle bus. I need water, all that coffee. All right, so let's say you're working as a strength conditioning coach and you get the opportunity to look at an MRI and you see any of those plates in a athlete's bone structure. What should you immediately know about this athlete in the presence if you see that in an x-ray? Keep thinking about it. So let's say, for example, if you were to x-ray me, right? You were to x-ray me, there's obvious points in the x-ray that indicate that I'm a woman, right? So when we see that, you're looking at an MRI and you see the presence of an epiphyseal plate, what do you know for sure that you're looking at? It's a type of person. Child. You're looking at a child, okay? That is one thing to know for sure. If you don't know anything else, you know that this is a minor. So I'm gonna go and, like I said, I am gonna scroll down to one more question. The term prone. What does prone mean? Face down. So what's the term that means face up? Supine. Remember we talked about pronation being pro basketball player and supination being cup of soup? The terms can be applied when we're talking about body position. So a person can be prone. Unfortunately, where you hear about people being prone for, relief for COVID, that's basically a term that means they're belly down. And supine means that they're just stomach up. Do I have any questions, comments, or concerns? Like I said, we're approaching noon. I'm gonna let you guys review the skeleton. I had a better chart here for the girdle, and I don't really like it though. But you guys can come up and look at it, and I say that because it's just so small. There we go. I'm gonna do it right now so I won't forget. I will up the attempts. Like I said, if you're satisfied with your attempts, then you can leave it right there. By all means, I would do these study notes ASAP, please, because hint, 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 you need to. Your test will be open this evening. I will say this, and I'm only gonna say it once, please do not procrastinate with taking this test. Okay, because the next test will not have this long of a take time, okay? The next test, we'll only have a week, all right? But you will have 2 attempts, but it'll only be a week. This one, I know we have some students still trying to transition with classes, so I up the attempts and up the due date. The next one, 1 week, all right? questions, comments, concerns? I had another. Oh, I gotta talk about something else. The video. So I don't know if some of you guys were here or not on Tuesday, but make sure Tuesday it's at 11 o'clock when you come here. But there is a video assignment that you will have to do in your second learning module. I know I got some questions about people that need to get into the gym. Some people have other gyms that they can go to on campus, but not everybody. So if you need to make an appointment to come into the gym, you just want to go in and request office hours with me. So you won't meet with me, but it'll be an opportunity for me to lock the door. Because as far as I know, they said that the gym here in Exum is closed to everybody. But I was about to say people get in there. And then on top of that, I got a key. So I mean, it ain't no fun. But if you need to get in there to be able to do your video submission, please just shoot me an email and schedule a time, and I'll get you in there to look at it. Got it? We're good? We feel good about this test? Some of y'all shaking y'all head no, and I know some of y'all got it. Like, I know. I can name about, I don't know,
You have to
classes.
submit a video soon?
Yep. But that's not due until, I believe, off the top of my head, is what, the 11th or something like that? Right? Homecoming week.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's the 10th.
Yeah, it's 10th and 11th, something like that.
Cause it's due the same day as the 11th.
Yep. All right.
Is there a
But,
time limit on it, or is it just?
no, just submission. Just a
We
straight.
talking about a certain topic, or?
Oh yeah, it's in there. You gotta look at the contents are in the learner module.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys are free to go. By all means, please look at the skeleton. I would. If you need a form, Aaron bought us some packets. Thank you, Aaron, so much. And yeah, I will see you guys Tuesday at 11.